Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So, Gabriele is working for Moschino, actually general manager there.
Yep.
And it's so great to have you all here. Andrea and Joe, they're both working for EA. And they had this fantastic collaboration just in April this year, where Moschino started to run a capsule collection on The Sims, which is one of your most successful games. Maybe you could share a bit about your background before we then go further in the discussion. Maybe we start with you?
Sure, yeah. I'm Andrea Hopelain, and I run brand management and marketing at EA. So I'm responsible for all of the consumer-facing marketing and media, the partnerships, and activations.
And I'm Joe Nickolls, and I'm the Vice President of EA Maxis, and I run the development. So what we make, Andrea helps us brand and bring to market.
I'm Gabriele Maggio. I'm a general manager of Moschino, and I'm the only one in this building wearing a suit. So I feel a bit the stranger in the room, but it's okay.
But a very nice suit. Yeah, thank you guys for being with us. So you've prepared a brief presentation about your collaboration, and maybe we just take all the photo footage to tell a bit more about what it is. I think it's a very visual story, so we should just kick it off.
Yeah, so why don't we start with a quick video to show you guys the collaboration.
We can be in the video.
So how many of you in the room, maybe show of hands, are familiar with The Sims or have ever played? Oh, that's pretty good. All right. About more than half of you. You know, that really doesn't surprise me. The Sims is a brand that has been around for almost 20 years. For those of you who don't know The Sims is a video game that's in the life simulation category. Players are allowed to build virtual identities and bring their stories to life through gameplay. We provide them, or we produce downloadable content packs that range from everything from island living and vampires to the really simple things like laundry and weather that really allow our players to bring their world to life. And we see everything from the mundane to the completely insane in our gameplay. And our audience is you know, we've had over 400 million downloads of the game in over 20 years. And today, our audience is comprised of about 75% females between the ages of 13 and 30, which is kind of a unicorn in the gaming category. Not many people can say they deliver that many women in that really sweet spot of Gen Z and millennials. And so, you know, our audience is really, they value things like inclusivity, connectedness, authenticity, and they see The Sims as this really powerful canvas for them to self-express and show off their creativity. Just as, you know, diverse and unique as our audience is, so is the gameplay that each of our players bring to life. They all play very differently. We've got the stylists, the builders, and the storytellers. And, you know, with the content that we produce for them, it really creates this ability for them to play with life. And so, you know, as we think about the things that are really important to our players and what they're connecting with, we try to always think about the themes that are resonant with them at that moment in time. And today, it's fashion, music, pop culture, technology. And those really became the connective tissues that led us to partner with Moschino this year. And as Ole said, we launched a capsule collection in April in store and online with Moschino. And this fall, and actually just a few weeks, we'll be bringing the collection to life inside of our game for our players. And so,
yeah,
really,
exactly. That was an amazing experience for us, and honestly, a kind of dream for the designer, because we share a lot of, they share a lot of vision, and especially the dream to create, the possibility to create a personalization of a dimension, of a reality within the game. So the link and the merge between the designer, creative process and Sims was exactly matching. What's really interesting to see the excitement of Jeremy and the designer to see how he could could build the family within the game, developing the iconic of Moschino. And it's true what she said. Moschino, I think, it stands for very clear parameter, very clear iconicity. One is the ironic approach to fashion, the pop culture of Jeremy Scott, the democratic approach of fashion to the market, which is perfectly matching and linked with the gaming industry, but mostly with the Sims games, which is really interesting to see how it worked very well in our industry as well, in our business as well. We produce dreams, but we produce also apparel and garments. So that's why the collaboration has to was finalized with the capsule collection exclusivity for the collaboration, which was really interesting, was really successful as well. So the game and the fashion, I think they found a perfect match, a perfect stage, which was Sims, to match and to share the same conversation and engagement with the consumer and with the customer.
Gabriele, how did you get together with that?
Okay, honestly, the first approach came from coming from Jeremy, from the designer and from the communication team, because they started conversation. Jeremy is based in LA, so they started conversation to try to understand the possibility to create this kind of collaboration. And day by day, the collaboration, as usually it happens with us, with Moschino, it started to become real. We start to think about the possibility to collaborate, and day after day we really create the collaboration. We create the idea. Thanks to them, they really gave us a huge support to translate into a video game the Moschino life, because for Jeremy it's more to create an aesthetic, to give the player the possibility to create a family with the aesthetic of Moschino. But how to do it? It's something that we didn't know about it. So Jeremy was the first approach, and then we developed the details of the collaboration, yes.
And what are some of the requirements for the designers to design fashion pieces for the Sims world?
What they do is they will send us and oftentimes they'll send us a whole collection, and they'll send us files that they've created. So, when you have most things that are created in fashion, you'll have a digital mock-up, and sometimes it could be simple as a scan of a sketch. And we'll take that, and we'll give it to our team, and we'll say, look, these are the dimensions. These dimensions have to scale, but the real challenge is we have to take something from a flat piece, a two-dimensional piece of art, and we have to make it move, and we have to make it flow, so we have to make it look okay when you put it into the game. So we give it to our team. They're pretty fast. We can turn around, in a matter of weeks, we can turn around a number of collections quite quickly.
And how did you then decide to measure success in this collaboration?
I think that the success is measured a lot of ways for us. Certainly, I think that both of us are in it to make money, but I think that that's really a secondary goal. I think for both of us, it's about brand awareness, it's about resonance with our consumer, it's about piercing pop culture and making a statement and doing fresh and new, innovative ways to reaching both the Moschino audience and the Sims audience.
Yeah, same from our side. I mean, it's not the awareness and also the fact that we had the possibility to touch a different industry and to touch a different way to talk with the people has been the most successful aspect of this collaboration. Then, okay, the turnover, the revenue we create with the capsule was successful, but was not the main goal for us. It was really to walk on a different stage and to start to talk with the people in a different way, in a different framework, which was really, really interesting for us.
Yeah, brand growth today doesn't come from just continuing to do the same thing, right? It comes from new ways of surrounding your consumer and sort of really enveloping them in your brand. And I think with this collection, you know, our players can now wear The Sims. I'm wearing The Sims by Moschino. So it's a new opportunity, certainly, to reach consumers and players and fans on a different level.
And how much of an overlapping has there been of the target groups of both The Sims, but also Moschino?
Okay.
So sure, we do a lot of consumer research. We find out there's everything from demographics to style of player to what they're interested in. So we do a ton of research and we try to find out what are the things that they want to do. And one of the things that always rises to the very top is self-expression. If there's one thing that The Sims is really good at, is self-expression. And they often do that in fashion, and they build their little homes and they do that. But we have a thing that we have called the gallery. And the gallery is where people make their own creations and they upload things. And it's astounding how many people upload. Like over 10 million people download things every month to put into The Sims. And so we look at that and we say, well, this is a really creative thing that people like to express themselves. So we look at the brands that do the best job at expressing who they are. So we can try to marry that kind of love of expression with a love of a brand that kind of stands for that very thing.
So I guess this has been one of the first of these collaboration of its kind, it also had a bit of an experimental character, right? What were some of the major findings, some of the major learnings that you wouldn't have expected when starting this conversation?
Well, the collection comes out in August, so.
The in-game collection.
Yeah, and so pardon me, the in-game content comes out in August. So that's when we're really going to see how people engage with it. We gave them a hoodie to play with in the game already. And judging by how many people grabbed it and used it in the game, we're onto something here. But I think we're really going to see how the connection really forms when the thing is made available for the game.
Yeah. From our side, as a fashion brand, we work in a very limited dimension. We generate ideas, we create product behind the ideas, and we deliver to the markets the ideas and the product. So for us, the fact that we had the possibility to be engaged with the Sims consumer is already an amazing result, and the fact that we had the possibility to deliver a collection through them, it's already the big results. It's true that when the game will be full operating, we will fine-tuning. So there is no good or bad expectation from our side because we didn't have expectation except to jump in another dimension, to jump into another field, which is not the natural field of fashion, the institutional field of fashion, which is the stage, the fashion show, the showroom, celebrities, and magazines. We want to experience that part of the life, because now it's becoming a day life.
And we think what is exciting is we get to see people that normally wouldn't experience a brand like Moschino as easily as they can until we put it in a game. So we make it accessible to them. We let them say, would you like to check out the brand? This is us, by the way. This is what Andrea and I look like this in The Sims. This is our everyday life.
Good.
So as you can see, there is the Moschino hoodie. It's exactly what Andrea is wearing. So this is The Sims now, and this is pretty much a daily occurrence. I come to work, Andrea paints a picture of me, and that's kind of how real life goes. But the thing is about The Sims, it's a lot different. If you haven't played The Sims for a while, it does a lot more things that you may be aware of, not be aware of, rather. Andrea is now a fan of yoga. And, of course, you could do that in the hoodie. But the thing that we really like about the collaboration is this allows you to actually maybe see what it would look like if you wear this kind of stuff, and what would it look like in your life. You know, yes, it is a sim, and it is a bit stylized art, and an enhanced diamond ring, by the way.
Okay.
And Andrew's not too good at yoga.
Aspirational.
Right. Yeah, this was something the team put in. I was thrilled to find this included in the video after it was too late. So, yeah, thanks to the guys at home for having me play in the bathtub. Singing karaoke, you could do all these different things. So it's kind of about expressing your life and what you want to do. And now you can do it in brands like Moschino. And that's really exciting because for years and years and years, the Sims had kind of generic looking stuff. And now we have things that you can really get excited about with brands like Moschino. And I'm a chef.
Why is now the right time for this kind of collaboration? What would you say?
I would say the convergence of fashion, technology, and the digital world are right upon us. Our players are looking, and consumers actually are looking for ways to more immersively connect with brands. And so I think that this is just really the tip of the iceberg of entering into a much more significant partnership between fashion and the digital world.
Yeah, sometimes you need also to be a visionary and a pioneer to step ahead and to jump out from the standard behavior of your industry, of your business, to really try to find a new formula to match the evolution of the reality. It's true, it's now the digital evolution of a market is becoming huge. And everything is changing since the past, especially for fashion. So you need to test, you need to try, you need to be entrepreneurial. Also in a way you put yourself in discussion with different industry which are closer to the contemporary behavior of the people in the world.
Yeah, and we're not the first to do this. A couple of years ago, you saw Louis Vuitton partner with Final Fantasy and put Lightning into their ads. Nike just dropped the latest Jordans inside of Fortnite. And of course, we have like this pretty significant real world and in-game collaboration. I think that you're going to start to see these things even more. Chanel has their Coco Games shops in Japan now, where they're gamifying the experience of learning about their product. And so we're really excited to be a part of sort of the pioneers of this journey and seeing how far we can take this.
People are spending a lot more time with their games now than they ever have before, because there's so many video games out there. People like to pick a few games and have a really longer investment with them. And we're finding that if people want to spend more time with us, we need to keep things fresh. We need to be relevant. We need to talk about the things that people are talking about. And we need to let people create what is happening in the world. And so we're finding people spend a lot more time in one game as opposed to many.
That was pretty inspiring. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think this is a great call out to the community.